The Israeli Defense Force continues its operations with a 2-day raid in the West Bank city of Jenin, even though they're supposed to be fighting Hamas in Gaza, but they're in the West Bank. You know what? Just roll the intro. The Israeli Defense Force is now in its second day of a raid on the West Bank city of Jenin, over in the West Bank part of Palestine. But they're in Jenin and in the West Bank, even though the IDF is supposed to be, committing the war crimes, is committing because they're trying to, quote unquote, stamp out Hamas. But Hamas is in the Gaza Strip. They're not in charge in West Bank. So why would they be in West Bank to get Hamas? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? Now, within the first 24 hours of this raid, there's already been some unfortunate casualties, right? So far, 7 people have been killed in this ongoing raid. I say ongoing because it's still happening. It's now entered into its second day. So far, 7 people have been killed, including 4 that were killed in a drone strike. And among those 7 victims was a 13-year-old Palestinian boy who was reportedly disabled. He was killed after or died. Well, he was killed and subsequently, in part because IDF soldiers refused to allow an ambulance to get to him. So this poor child was not only struck, presumably by the IDF, but then he was refused immediate medical care because, if you ask me, that the IDF just don't give a damn. They just don't give a damn. It's in addition to that, the IDF has been using loudspeakers to warn residents to leave their homes or be at risk of being bombed themselves. I'm sure in some weird IDF way they consider that being polite. I don't know. They're also using sound grenades that are being used to scare protesters. And there's even been a video circulating of blindfolded Palestinians being taken away in vans. But for more details, let's check out this clip from a recent news report from Al Jazeera English.
Well, we're just seeing video that's dropped, I suppose, about half an hour ago of what's being reported as the Israeli military having surrounded a particular home in the refugee camp in Jenin. They're on loudspeakers and have been warning the occupants to leave the house immediately or face potentially the house actually being destroyed. They also seem to be using what we often call sound grenades. These are these shock explosive devices that can cause damage but are incredibly loud and are used to scare protesters away from areas. We have seen over the last few hours also arrested Palestinians, blindfolded, having been led or being led out of the refugee camp. This raid now is we're 27 hours at least into it. Started at 3 a.m. yesterday morning. Definitely one of the longest, one of the largest raids we've seen since the beginning of the war, involving dozens of Israeli military vehicles and those armoured Israeli army bulldozers that cause so much destruction, ripping up infrastructure, so vital for people living in these areas. It's something that the Palestinians and Palestinian human rights groups often call collective punishment. As you say, 7 people killed so far in this raid, but important to recognise that one of those people, one of those persons was that 13-year-old boy who we are told was actually had physical disabilities and regularly went to the hospital to receive treatment, but on this instance was prevented from getting into the hospital because the Israeli military had surrounded it, all 3 hospitals, and he passed away. So still no sign that this raid is over yet. We're also hearing reports that there have been raids in a number of other areas across the occupied West Bank over the course of the last few hours. A raid on Hebron We understand, according to sources, that at least 5 people arrested in that raid, 3 people also arrested in a raid on Beit Lahem, which the wider world knows as Bethlehem. And within the last hour or so, we could hear again what sounded like those sound bombs, those sound grenades being used. And we're now hearing that at least 1 person has been arrested here in Ramallah.
Imagine seeing a 13-year-old child, lying on the ground after being shot or bombed or whatever in any kind of a medical emergency, and you just let them lay there, just let them suffer, just let them deal with that kind of with their final moments like that, as an ambulance is right there. I think that's the part that's just so frustrating, or all of it's really frustrating if you really think about it, but it's heartbreaking, it's terrible, and yeah, we just really expect there to be something better than this. It's beyond shameful. I just want to give a special shout out as if this is I just want to give credit to where credit is due. So credit to Charles Stratford, the reporter there that you saw on the ground, reporting from the West Bank city of Ramallah, talking about the ongoing raid over in the city of Jenin. I believe Jenin is a city, and there's also like it's a refugee camp. There's a city of Jenin, and then there's the Jenin refugee camp. Let's move on into what you can do, despite this being a very disheartening and distressing situation. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It can be hard sometimes, and I haven't even been doing this that long, but to be honest, it can be kind of difficult thinking of ways of things that you can do on an individual, or even, help banding together on a collective level to help make an impact on some of these things, right? Because some of these stories so far have been kind of tough, right? Like, I don't know what to do about a 13-year-old boy lying in the street dying as IDF soldiers just sit back and watch. I don't know what to do about that. I wish I did. I genuinely wish I did. But I'm always going to try to find something that we can do, even if it's something relatively small, no matter what it is. So today, the thing that we can do, stay informed, right? Earlier, I mentioned a report by Al Jazeera English from featuring reporter Charles Stratford. So that's the thing you can do, is stay informed, right? So you can check out a more well-rounded telling of what of this the war, Israel's war on and in Gaza and the West Bank at this point, clearly. Check out different news sources, right? So Al Jazeera English, you can check out their YouTube page. They also have a live stream. They live stream on Twitter, and I think they also live stream on YouTube. So there's plenty of stories that they have about this conflict, and they cover it from all different aspects, right? And they don't just do just this. It's just that this war is top of the news right now, but they just offer a lot of great balanced perspectives, a lot better than your CNNs or your MSNBCs or any other like American cable news. So yeah, check them out. Al Jazeera English if you're an English speaker. If not, you can check out just regular Al Jazeera. There's also another one that I've discovered recently called Novara Media. That's Novara. Again, that's Novara Media. They're another YouTube channel, and they are an independent news source, and they're really good and do a lot of really balanced coverage and really go into the details and really explain the story. So that's another good source. Check them out on YouTube. Oh, and also, when it comes to using that information, keeping engaged with what's going on, and also share that information online. So on your social channels, things like that, and just be able to know what's happening, so that you know that when you're getting the facts and when you're not being fed facts and when you're getting fed propaganda, and you can take that information out into the real world and share it with others and help build like a groundswell of support for justice and equality. All right, that does it for us for now. Go ahead and share, like, and subscribe. All that good stuff. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on social media. So at Forward Up News, you can find us on Twitter. Again, that's at Forward Up News. And yeah, like I said, share, like, subscribe, leave your questions or comments down in the comment section. And yeah, until next time, Newsies, peace. See you next time.